Watching me started
You're
and interrupted
right.
this beginning.
You are American Legion. I want to give you Dad's uniform and the helmet, somebody else could use it.
Now they can tell who acts up. Looking about the table, I recognize the number that we need to have business, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. And if I may, I'm going to prevail on the Reverend Payne. Would you have invocation for us?
Absolutely.
We'd appreciate it.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you so much for this day and for your many blessings. God, we thank you for this time and this place that you've set apart tonight to do the business of this town. Lord, I pray that every discussion that is had and every decision is made, that, Lord, your will would be sought, and God, that you would get the glory for it. Thank you for this body who looks after our community and does so much for our town. Lord, I pray your blessings over them as they lead us into the future. Lord, we love you and we praise you. It's in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Let's all, didn't stand up. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started on our minutes, I'd like to welcome all those in the gallery that came. We appreciate that you taking time. And I'd like to welcome back our new councilman. He's an old councilman, really, but that didn't have anything to do with his age. No. And he's a lot of the ones that's younger than me, of all things. But I know that a few that's older too. I won't look him about.
Won't get in trouble, it's
Know
recorded.
how to make enemies, huh? But thank you all for indulging me there. Shug, we're glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Okay, with that said, we have either an electronic or written form, the minutes from the previous meeting. And could we get a motion to accept as presented or make changes as needed?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
There's a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay.
I abstain. When I wasn't
Yeah,
here.
that probably worked pretty good on that one. Yeah, that's good. Okay, next thing on the list is citizens' time. So, all right, you all, that shaking your head, nothing back there shaking the head, so that leaves with you, Frank, so go ahead.
Just want to make sure we stay in touch with regard to the caboose. We signed up to do the preservation of the wind and the little kerfuffle we have in there. My understanding from Jason is that the town's going to have it screwed and cleaned, lid mitigated, and then we can come back and do the paperwork.
Yeah.
That's cool, but we'll be standing by.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay, anybody have questions there? All right, does that pretty well take care of citizen time? Anybody else want?
I believe it was 2.5 years ago, July, I'm not real sure, on the color law. Extremely important to me because I am an advocate of beauty and profession. So, Councilman, I'm so glad you're back because I presented a situation where I wanted to know what the process was for the clutter law, what I could do if I saw, I don't want to say violation, maybe an infraction, maybe an opportunity, how did it really work? And I offered to go speak to the individual myself, because I knew him, he was a friend, and I just loved it, sir, because you looked straight at the town manager, you looked straight at me, and you said, no, thank you, Ms. McBride, not your responsibility, it's our responsibility. So, the town manager said, I will speak to this person. And that actual habitat is, to my estimation, 3 times more cluttered than it was before. So I would like to be able to talk to this person. And if it is the responsibility of the town manager to enforce it, there still is no process to me on how I can do this. I just need to be able to act on this, and it's been 2.5 years, and you were recognizing me, you were supporter, and there all of a sudden, there you're sitting, so I thought, you know what? Maybe, Councilman, you can talk with me and help me and invoke the clutter law. 2.5 years is too long for me. Welcome back.
Thank you. Can I ask a question about this? What exactly can we do? I know there's been a problem with a judge in Whitfield that will not allow it, okay?
Oh, interesting.
There's a house over here that a tree has grown up in it. Can't touch it.
That's right.
All right. Okay. That's very helpful. How about I just research it?
It'd be a good start. Maybe we'll get some understanding. This is not something that we haven't addressed before. We've never really pushed it too far. Maybe we haven't pushed it far enough. I don't have a,
Are you talking about that? What are you talking about?
Harry Hamill at the top of the mountain. Entrance to Willow Tree.
I've never
On the right?
paid attention.
I know.
I was.
So, well, it's just, it's not that I'm questioning anything other than the process. I'm just interested in by what process do we move to help unify the town? Really, that's all.
Does he still live there? I hadn't seen Harry.
Yeah, y'all were married, I thought there was hope.
That's probably why
Okay.
the priest, he got married.
Y'all know me, and y'all know me, and y'all know me, and you just know that we can do a lot to make it a prettier town, and we have a clutter wall, and nothing's ever been done, and I just still don't know what is the process. I wish I could, I can go around and I'm not belligerent, I just,
Do we know if Jason addressed the problem?
well, I.
Do we know that? I mean, I honestly,
Yeah, I don't want to ask that question because
that's a fair question to ask him.
it is.
Yeah, if it's officially
May I say-
been addressed.
I assume not, and that's an assumption, so I will certainly ask him because it's in the minutes, and he would say, I will just, you look right at me, right at him, and said, not your responsibility.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and the reason why I said that,
I thought it was great.
well, I disagree because of this. You could get yourself in a dangerous situation, is what I'm
That's
talking
great.
about.
I appreciate it.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, not so much, I don't like the color any more than you do.
He was spoken with. I know that.
Okay, that's a good
And
question.
he's a friend, I mean, you know, this is.
He's a friend of mine too, but he was spoken with.
Okay. Thank you. I'll just research it and provide my interest in it.
I mean, I will say, just on my behalf, after 8 years of sitting here, that's probably one of
it's
the
the most
biggest
repeated.
issues that we deal with, that we kind of feel like our hands are always tied. You know, if it's speed or something like that, or
Right.
just
Right.
normal traffic, so maybe we can pass a motion or something and get it done, but.
No, just think out of the
But clutter,
box.
it's just like we're always running our heads against the
If
wall.
the courts won't support you,
Yeah,
there's not
but-
much you can do.
Think out of the box, and as I have spoken to Jason and offered many times to start, not a beautification committee, but there are citizens who, I think these people don't know how they can get rid of trash or beautify but there are a lot of people who would be so willing to help them do
Well,
this.
and like you said, it comes down to two things. Either one, they can't get rid of it, or they don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, well,
If you're
50% is good enough
If
for
you're dealing
me.
with a hoarder, they get irate when you try to help them. They don't want any help.
Fine, but the other 50% might just not know how to do it, and there are resources to help them do it. That's all I'm saying.
I guarantee the Boy Scouts will be all over it if they,
Right,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
oh, yeah.
So
They do a
I
great
offer
job.
to council to consider me, as I've said many times before, to gather the resources to help those people who don't know how and to help themselves. That's all I'm saying. Not the hoarders. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your interest in our dilemma that's going on.
It is,
It is.
Yeah. Okay, is anybody else would like to address the council? Okay, with that said, we'll go to correspondence. Have anything from the town office?
We do not.
Is there anything from council in the way of correspondence?
Just really, just with Dr. Pepper's Day, I mean, just the output that we had.
One of the best
car
we've ever
shows,
had.
Having the vendor,
One of the best we've ever had.
of course, you always hear negative, but I'm not gonna discuss that, but overall, I think it was one of the best ones we had.
It is.
It is, I was telling Jim, and I gave big kudos to Jim, but, it was funny. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here
Pulling out of that one hair.
we were kind of wringing our hands and going, well, you know what? It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna be good. We're just going to have to take our lumps, but, Jim did a good job, so I give him.
It did show you
much
that
props.
people care and people came out.
He just needed some
Glad
good,
work.
watching close or whatever. You might have put the screws to yourself.
Not unusual.
Is it too late for citizens to say thank you?
Thank you.
It's never
No.
too late for that.
It was great. I mean, the weather was perfect, which made it wonderful, but the car show was great.
Oh, yeah, of course it was great.
Aaron being there, we're sorry Wayne wasn't there, but you came through with music.
That was luck.
Well, but I know you had, I know you probably got a few more gray hairs from it, but thank you for, I mean, it was great. I was proud to be from here. And it inaugurated the new park.
Well, thank you, Vicky.
That was fun. And then it kind of just rolled over into Sherry's, and it was very nice to Dr. Pepper Steak. So it was a great day.
Very good. We appreciate your interest as always. Okay, does anybody else have anything from council and correspondence? That takes us down to the police report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just got a few things. 15 incidents for the month. Some of those include suspicious persons, vehicle, reckless driving complaint, 2 welfare checks, 2 animal welfare complaints, 1 DOA, and 1,089 miles patrolled. Halloween's next Thursday. Yeah, that night.
You trick or treating?
Yeah. I'll be dressed up trick or treating.
You go dress up like Jason Childers, is that right?
They
don't have to drink about that part.
I will reiterate about Dr. Pepper Day is great.
That's so good. That's wonderful. I know I can't ask a name or something. Was this a suspicious death by any chance, or is it
No, was what now?
the DOA?
Yeah, it was in town.
It wasn't a suspicious
No,
death?
no, sir.
Okay. That's all I can ask, and I appreciate that. Anybody have any questions for the
We
chief?
still doing the one-way like we normally do? I'll be up there Thursday.
Okay. With that said, we'll just move right along. Thank you for what you do. Now, we'll go down the list. We'll go as fast as you need to go, Jason, just to tell you, if we want to talk about it later. This is unfinished business in the downtown. Do you have anything you want to add?
I'll talk about that in my report.
Okay, Dale's not here, so we don't know, it's a little early for much updates from Heritage Day. Okay, the upgrades to the water plant, do you have anything?
I'll talk about the water and sewer plant.
Okay, and then that takes us to Main Street sidewalk.
I'll talk about that in my report.
Okay, and Dr. Pepper Day.
Okay, wait a second. Thank you all a lot. It's nice to be appreciated. On this Dr. Pepper Day, if we need to, I mean, it worked really well considering 2 weeks. I mean, but we need to do some upgrades if we're going to continue to have it that big. And the first thing we need is we really need a bigger tent if we're going to continue with bands and stuff, because we can't have it under that farmer's market building. The echo in there is horrible. It would be a sound man's nightmare to try to do that. So we really need a bigger tent, and we also need a sound system. The one I borrowed, which as of Saturday, I didn't have one. The one I started to borrow, he couldn't find it. So Saturday night, after I played at Big Stone Gap, I went all the way to Clayton Lake to borrow a sound system, and it wasn't big enough, but we did what we had. So we need a bigger one. And also, I think, and not saying anything about I'm not saying that we're not going to support stuff, but when we're doing this, if it's a town-sanctioned event, I don't think we need to have other events in town. I think that people did visit both, and that was a good thing, but still, by not having it down there, it really threw me for a loop. I don't know if it did you guys, but like I say, it all turned out great as far as those are the only complaints that I have. If we want to do it bigger and longer, I don't know that it'd be a good thing to expand to 2 days yet, but we should run longer Sunday, I think. And we have no control over those T-shirts. I mean,
That's
there's
the
a lot of
truth.
people that were there to get T-shirts and go home, and some of them got pretty irate about it.
Because
We-
they ran out.
We
No,
announced,
because I made them stand in
announced 3
line.
times that we weren't gonna give them out early. It was gonna be a while, but they kept stomping us.
I did that 4 times. I went through the line and said, look, it's gonna be a good while before we hand them out. Go get something to eat, look at the cars, look at, we've got some exhibits here. And, oh no, I got one woman really chewed me out good.
Everybody that went through the line, and I was there in it, serving them, I knew 5 families from retreat. The rest of them, I had no idea where those people came from. Never seen them before in my life. So, and I would say in that line was 70, 80 people.
Oh, I was more than
More
that.
than
Yeah,
that.
I'm thinking like 100.
Well, I thought they'd never quit, but,
How many T-shirts they give out every?
yeah, we
They
did.
had, I think the boys had 500 shirts, 675 cases of soda.
And I was even trying stuff like, okay, I announced it, I went through the line and said, it's gonna be a while before we give them out, go enjoy things, and I got on the microphone, I'd say something like, okay, we're gonna give away 1 T-shirt early here, who can tell me when Rural Tree was incorporated? Or what kind of car is this green car that's third in line? And one guy cheated on the Rural Tree thing, he Googled it, come up. But stuff like that was the only thing I could think that might entertain people, but I think it's just gonna be what it is. As far as that goes, T-shirts are gonna be the T-shirts, no matter what we do. But there were a lot of people that did enjoy it, and the T-shirts weren't the main reason they were there. But if we intend on doing this, we're gonna have to throw some more money at it. And, like I say, a tent,
More
a sound
food.
system would be really good.
More food.
The town crew did an enormous job. They went down there and mowed and had everything looking really good and set the tent up. And then I asked Jason if they had the right trailer for it. And he said, yeah, we'll use this trailer for a stage. And he calls me and he says, there's not much room. Said the trailer's too tall. And I said, well, we'll make it work. And I didn't get through that night till it was about dark. And I went down there and they had the bulldozer trailer pulled in there the length of the tent. There wasn't any room under the tent for anybody to be. So I hooked my little truck to it and pulled it out and went home and got another trailer I had and washed it down and brought it back and had everything set up like that. There was no problem. I mean, it wasn't no big deal at all. But anyway, all that was in place. It just growing pains is what we're going through. But I think that is the place to do it. I think we got plenty of room to expand. We can do a lot more things next year. I can invite more craftsmen. We had a broom maker and we had a wood turner, and I got hold of them Friday night. So we can get several of the arts people told me that they would be willing to help next year and bring stuff out. So it's up to us. What do y'all want to do?
Sounds good.
I think it should be more spread out
Okay,
bigger.
I will try to put together a budget. Tents are expensive.
What
And
about
plus,
the ones that they had, that Sherry had?
I don't know whose it is.
I mean, is that the size you're kind of?
Yes. And if me and Shug get around a tent, we're liable to just launch into it, ain't we, Shug?
It could be, it happened.
Tent revival. But I'll get some figures together since y'all want to, and I'll get us a budget, and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good.
That's good, that's what we need to work with.
Yes.
Well, if you pick today, we'll make sure that nothing goes on.
Well, it's the Sunday
always-
before the 24th.
Yeah.
Did you get any sleep on Saturday night?
Not much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoy it. I really do.
It was successful.
Don't mean to complain.
It was very successful.
I like a challenge, but this was just a little bit too much of a challenge.
It's on Friday,
24th on a Friday.
It'll be the Sunday before that.
so you go all the way back to the Sunday before.
Mhm.
And what is that day?
19th.
19th.
Next.
October the 19th, okay.
We're still gonna have some trouble, like the guys I talked to at the state fair, they won't come for a day. But I think we can still expand in a day. And we even talked about, I talked to the Arts Council in Whitville. They're doing a ghost tour thing all this month, town of Whitville, on Friday and Saturday night. And they talked about wouldn't it be a great finale to have a ghost walking little retreat at the end of Dr. Pepper Day. So what do you charge to haunt a house, Tim?
It's expensive.
But I mean, we have endless possibilities, is what I'm trying to say, and that's a good way
Are
to
they
do it.
dressed in period clothing? It'd be neat if we had like a recreation of a
Well,
Dr. Pepper.
we even talked
himself.
about, I have a friend that's got a wagon
You think
that's
it's
got
creepy?
fake barrels on it, and they have carbonated funnels that you can get pop out. Be kind of neat to put Dr. Pepper in those,
Yeah.
and have somebody dressed like Dr. Pepper
Yeah,
serving it.
sure.
I mean, there's a lot that can be done.
Sounds good.
Snow cones.
Yeah. I wonder why we hadn't thought of that.
It won't work.
We're trying to do.
Okay. Well, we have our work cut out for us. That's one of two things we need to do. Okay, we got a resolution, I think, in the next that we'll have to do. This is the collecting delinquent accounts resolution. Okay, here we go. Whereas the town of Retreat, through its treasurer, bills and collects delinquent taxes and other charges that individuals must pay to ensure the proper operation of the town. Whereas the town desires to have its outstanding accounts paid timely or to initiate delinquent billings and collection efforts to aid in compliance with those items duly payable to the town. And whereas the town council or the treasurer in relation to taxes may employ attorneys to assist in this regard and provide that certain costs associated with the efforts to collect delinquent billing may be incurred by the town due to no fault of those citizens who have paid their accounts timely. And whereas the town wishes to ensure that those costs are borne by the individuals responsible for the delinquent account. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the town council of the town of Retreat that the provisions of Virginia Code 58.13934A and 51.3958 are hereby directed to be implemented in the town council or their designee is authorized to bill, utilize administrative collection remedies and collect administrative fees and attorney or collection agency fees as provided by and to the limits authorized under Virginia Code 58.13958 and Title 51.1 generally. Now, we're gonna be a test on that.
What are you looking at me for? What are you talking about?
I sit back.
Does everybody know what this resolution is for? What we're doing is we're gonna turn our delinquent taxes over, they have to be a certain amount of years behind, to this agency. By law, we can add 20% penalty to that, so that is what they collect. They go try to collect the taxes. They'll start off with billing, letters, calls, things like that. Then if it gets to a certain point, then we can actually take it to the county and do it before on the courthouse steps and sell the property. It's just keeping delinquent taxpayers from going years without paying their taxes, so. And I don't know if I have it here. Last meeting, we had a total, it wasn't a whole lot.
I do. Hang on, I got it right here.
Sorry.
It's $23,055.98 in taxes that are going on.
That's what we had, so we don't have a huge amount, but they can also do personal property taxes as well, so it's gonna give us an avenue of collecting taxes, that we don't have right now, so.
And it kind of keeps the town staff not really being involved. They can just say, take care of this.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Now, wasn't that a better job what he did than I did? I'll accept that. Okay, we need a motion.
I make a motion, we accept the resolution to implement tax.
Second,
Delinquent tax collection.
Yes.
second.
We've got a second from Mr. Lloyd. Now, is there any discussion? Again, Jason has underlined that better. It makes more sense when he says it than what I read, but anyway, it's got the whereases in it. Okay, hearing no more discussion, I'd like to, we'll call for the question, and all those in favor of accepting the resolution, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Very good. I guess that pretty well takes care of that. That doesn't need to be discussed anymore. Okay, is there any other unfinished business?
I have something, Mayor. At the last meeting, Councilmember Duncan asked me about the water rates. He requested the average number of water customers that use the minimum or less each month. And the average, we average approximately 1,000 water and sewer bills every month. We process and mail 1,000 on average. And out of that 1,000, there's about 400 or 40% of those are customers that are 2,000 gallons or less of water consumption. And of those 400, the average of that 400, about 275 to 280 of those folks are inside the town limits.
Can you say that last part again? I'm sorry.
Of the 400 that are the minimum users, 275 to 280, given which month you're in, are inside the town limits.
Okay, thank you.
One of the questions.
So about a third, 2/3 are in town and 1/3.
Right. One of the questions we might have is how many are using less than the minimum.
Well, that's what I
That's
just,
the
that's what I said.
that's the
20%.
400.
Oh, okay. But that's what's the minimum, 2,000? My question was, so how many 1,000 gallon ones are
We don't have any way, well, I don't know that we can do that. I can check.
there? Yeah, that's just curious.
That's gonna drop that number considerably.
It was a question, you know. and-
Yeah, but there's very few people that use less than 1,000. I mean, I apologize, I was not here when Mr. Nolan talked because my daughter was finishing up the bottle. But I listened to what he said in the minutes. And I see where you're getting at. I mean, if y'all wanna lower the minimum to 1,000 and then go from there, we can do that. But you have to have a set amount to be your minimum.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can't charge by.
No, because administrative
Like, 'cause
costs.
I heard him talk about, and you know, he presented himself very well, but I heard him talk about kilowatts with AEP and things like that. We can't do that. It would be number one, you've got to set a baseline, and number two, it would be a logistical nightmare for Brenda to try to charge everybody based on every gallon of water they use.
No.
Right.
I don't mean that. The line set, you have 2,000 gallon minimum. All right, where's the next level?
4.
4,000.
And then, do you take 2,575 gallons and do it, or do you go, if it's more than 2,000 gallons?
If it's 2,000 gallons or more, it changes the rate, and it goes up at 4,000, it goes to the next step. 6,000, it goes to the next
Right.
step. So, I mean, it's a step system. And Sean, if I remember correctly, mentioned it in the last meeting. When the budget committee did the budget, these fixed income homes were taken into consideration. And actually, we have an ordinance in place that says we have to raise them 5%. We can look at changing that if you want to, but we did keep that lower level minimum at 5%, which was the lowest amount that we could, that the council could possibly charge them, in addition to last year's rate. Then from there, the higher users incrementally went up as a percentage
Right.
increase for the year. So, I understand what he's saying. If you guys decide next budget season, or even between now and then, if you want to drop that to 1,000, that's something you can go ahead and decide. But I do think that council did its due diligence in the budgeting process to look out for those individuals as much as they possibly could.
What is the minimum charge now for in town,
For just water,
for just water?
I don't have those rates in front of me. It's 24.10, I think.
And you just double it for the sewer, basically, is that?
No, sewer's a different rate. He went to get the rate sheet. I don't have one of those in front of me.
Well, you can't memorize all that stuff, I won't expect that. I just gonna, I'm trying to make a.
And it's different for in town and out of town, so. the out of
Yeah, there
town-
is a difference. We just ask in town, and know why that's different, but,
And then the other thing to consider is that, when we sat down and talked about these rates, I remembered this later on. We have some of the lowest rates in Southwest Virginia.
Yep.
We
Still do.
truly do. I mean, right now. I'm not, I mean, it's a good point, but I mean, overall, for our water service, we charge.
but we've gotten in trouble.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
It's-
trouble
it's-
meaning we didn't get money
Yeah,
that we
it's
could
hard,
have
it's
got.
hard for us to get federal money
We can't get federal
for
money
our
because we
water
don't charge
system
enough for
because
the
our
water.
Because the federal government says, well, the first thing y'all need to do is charge more for your water. You're not
Yeah.
helping yourself as much.
How many times have they told us that?
Right, I mean-
Y'all aren't charging enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gone back 5 years, and I see, I think it's every 2 years,
Draper Arden is the people that do the survey and study on water rates in Southwest Virginia. And we have the numbers to back up. We're exponentially lower than many. And also, our gross median income per household is higher than most populations in the state of Virginia. So not only is the average household within Rural Retreat taking in more money, we're actually charging less per individual.
Right.
I mean,
What is the minimum?
it's fortunate that our community's like that, but it hurts us as well, so.
$25.76 is the minimum for an in-town user on 2,000 gallons. And then at on the next 3,000, it's an additional $7.61 per thousand for the next 3,000 gallons. And then for the next 5,000 gallons, it's $9.60 a thousand. And then if you're over 10,000, it goes to $10.87 per thousand.
Yeah, that answers the question. I've had to sit here for a long time and listen about, you don't charge enough, you don't charge enough. And it appears to me that it is a detriment to be frugal. You're supposed to throw all your money away as fast as you get it.
Yeah, I think that's the majority of people are looking at stuff like that now. Younger people certainly. I mean, you know, I know some young people that they'll buy a car and it's not how much is the car, it's how much are the payments. And they'll keep it
They
2 or
won't
3
ask how many years the payments are.
Well, they'll keep it 2 or 3 years and trade it back in on another one. They know they're gonna have this constant $400, $700 a month payment, and they just keep it rolling like that.
But right now, the minimum's on 2,000.
Right.
Correct.
Which I think is the point.
Pardon?
I think that what the gentleman was saying was that those who pay the minimum at 2,000 are paying 8 times as much as those who are paying 4,000 because of that minimum. So
Yeah, that was his point. That's exactly what he was trying to say.
Well, anyway, that answers my question. Thank you for that. That's probably a budget decision, and we'll address that as we come to it. Okay, huh?
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there any other unfinished business? And new business, we've done that? Is that what, or do we have anything? Don't? Okay, going to committee reports, finance and appropriation, do you have anything?
I'll just give you an update on the taxes. I spoke with the commissioner at the end of last week, actually, and he said that the county treasurer has wrapped up her testing and that he will get me the books by the end of October. And I will be getting the personal property and the real estate books at the same time, which is good. So I should have those books in my hands by the end of next week.
Very good. Okay, personnel ordinances and legal matters? Don't have anything in there. Okay, that takes you to the town manager's report.
Mayor, can I interrupt real quick on the committee reports? I know it's not on here anymore, but I know we all received a letter from the Board of Supervisors. But just to give you an update on the rescue squad, the inventory has been completed and submitted. So now we're just waiting on the containers so we can ship everything back.
Put it in.
So hopefully by the end of the month, everything will be done with the rescue squad. In case y'all get questions about the letter. Sorry about that, Mayor, didn't mean to.
No, we needed to hear that, that's good. Okay, Jason, go ahead.
Okay, the bore, at Route 11 on Alice Chandler's Road has been completed, the water lines have been installed. We did install a fire hydrant as well, on that road, and the water has been charged on the lines. Little B Construction will be getting the water tested through the health department, and the lines will be put into service very shortly, so all that's wrapped up. Most of that money we used ARPA, finish of our ARPA funding. so we can continue, we can, however many houses decide to go up in that area, we now have a water service there. We also have put in place the starting point if we ever do
Go west.
Go west. So, money well spent, in my opinion. We're gonna add customers, and then in the future, whether we're all here or not, it's there for them to start whenever,
That's for the future.
take off. The wiring is being installed at the well pump at the wastewater plant now, and should be in service in the next few days. He's wiring up the pump, so he was down there yesterday and today.
Did you all put the pump in?
Everything's in, we're waiting on as soon as we get the power. Is there we waiting on anything else, Mike? We said, yeah, but I mean, we just need a cap and that's it, run everything, we're ready to go, so. Town's water production, been kind of peculiar here lately, but it's a good thing. It's dropped in the last few weeks. Some days our production is around 250,000 gallons a day.
Closer to what it ought to be.
But it seems like it'll take a day at 250, and then it'll go back to 320, and then it'll go back to 350 or 250. So it's varying a little bit, but it's almost like we had a catch-up day, and then we had a slow day, and then we had a catch-up day. But anyway, we're still producing water from the spring pump for our water supply right now, and it's not maxed out, so we're in good shape as far as the water that we produce.
The spring water, I don't know, I always wanted to see that running. It's just,
We've ran it since Helene. When Helene came through, the well got a little bit
dingy.
Just a little turbidity to it. We switched right to the spring pump, and it's clear
Went
spring
away.
water. I mean, our water quality didn't drop at all. I mean, we kept right on, which we were very, very lucky compared to a lot of places. But the water plant, I couldn't be any happier with right now. Doing really well. I met with another contractor about replacing the sidewalk on Main Street, as well as 3 sections that the town damaged during water and sewer replacements. And he'll be giving me a quote soon. I told him, and I might have hurt Jim's feelings, that I wanted the side places we tore up in the sidewalk fixed first, because especially the ones on Buck Avenue, people walk their dogs, ride their bicycles, everything, and I want that. The general public really hit those hard, especially.
I went
on Buck
home and
Avenue.
cried my little eyes out.
Yeah.
Tell Angela I apologize. But this is a younger guy. He's done work for Sonic Properties, the restaurant. He's done concrete work for them, so.
I liked him.
Took him, looked at everything.
I liked him. He really knew, he was really careful about what he was figuring out and stuff
Yeah,
there.
and he's meticulous, and I think he would do a good job, but I'm hoping it's a decent quote, but
Fingers crossed.
we'll see what happens. I also had a contractor look at the farmer's market and quoted guttering for the structure. This was only like $1,800. It's even less than state procurement. And he's gonna schedule that work for the week of November 5th. So we'll have guttering on that building. And black, commercial guttering is what I want. Also, and I'd like to have a motion on this one, even though we do have a line item in the budget. I've got a quote for the fencing around Heritage Park. The quote is for 6-foot steel ornamental fencing, which is kind of like this over here. It's nice, heavy duty, to go around, and it was $23,950.
That's installed.
That's installed.
Jason, I had a question for you on that. Is that, it's gonna encompass the whole thing, or how you gonna run it?
Well, I've got 2 quotes. It's gonna go from where we bought the section house at Billy Klein's fence to Church Avenue, down behind the depot to the corner of the sidewalk.
So that hole right there next to the tracks,
That
all
hole.
the crowds, okay.
Okay, and then to the detention pond, which would leave the section in between the detention pond and the
The
building as an entrance.
Right.
And I could put, I did not want gates. I did not want gates in this fence, so we could leave some openings on the side between the depot and the detention pond for people to enter there. But I did not want gates, because gates are just going to get
Right.
damaged and destroyed. So we can go with just the perimeter for right now, the side, and not go to the detention pond until we figure out what we want to do, or we can go ahead and do that as well. It's going to be a little bit more cost if they come back, but I don't think it would be that much. In
I
my
don't-
opinion, right now, I think we should just do from the corner of Main at the depot to Billy Klein's for now, to keep the railroad.
I don't see anything wrong with what you're talking about down in the retention pond either. I mean, if we
Well,
can,
I mean, that's
Just a
if we can afford it, but and I really don't think, as far as coming back, in my opinion, I don't think you need anything more than that.
Just
Well,
keep, the kids.
That's what he meant.
The kids were on the tracks this weekend, Dr. Beverly. That's what
I know,
scares me.
I saw them.
I don't like it. Well, we got them off, but that needs to go up first, all the way down to there.
Well, that's a parent's fault.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We will get the blame.
so does anybody have a problem with
I'll make an
everything,
L.
all the way down to the detention pond, leaving the entrance there at the building and one maybe 6-foot space in that area for an
Interest for walking.
entrance from the
Yeah.
sidewalk?
What area
That's
is
good.
the entrance for walking?
It's
Just to
gonna
make
be
sure
from the
I'm-
railroad track, in between the railroad track and the detention pond. There'll be
Put it right
one
square in the middle there.
Right there.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we do it.
Sounds good. I second.
I just got your motion second, any more discussion? Now,
Amy, you have a question?
On decisions of this nature, you have a committee, do you have any citizen input on these decisions beyond separating
No.
people on what they
No.
want this to look like?
what we did, Amy, was try to find as something that looked like what was on the side of the depot. That was our intention for it, to be as close as we could get to that without the cost.
Okay, so with the design of gates and entrances and all that, do you have any?
Right there?
No gates,
Yeah,
no gates, just
no,
open.
but no gates, but you're not gonna put a gate against the tracks anywhere. Is that correct?
Not just kind of, in a general sense, the decision, who's, as a citizen,
Right.
in good faith, who's making all these decisions for the Heritage Fund?
This group here.
We all.
There was a farmer's
And
market
we
committee.
do, and we
So
do,
it is.
we-
I was just curious.
right, and we do have a committee for the downtown, for the park itself, which hasn't met, and I was going to ask that question. But, as far as the fence goes, that's, I mean, and again, it's ultimately up to the council. That committee can come up and say, hey, we would like to do this, 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 but it's ultimately this council's decision.
So basically, your recommendation is for Mr. Childers.
I mean,
Well,
it's Jason's responsibility to procure it, and then he brings the funds to us.
and we
as a
talked
council.
about this fence
And
a
then we
long
talked
time.
about it.
This is not a fly-by-night.
Right.
I mean, there's been talk about chain link, there's been talk about ornamental, there's been a lot of different scenarios thrown out, so this is not the first time we have heard.
And I'm not making any of these decisions on my own.
No, that's not it.
I will,
It's
I'm not.
It's just the process, the
Right,
process.
so that's it. That's it.
Okay, so
It's a learning.
I understand there's a need to have a separation of goods from the railroad. And so one part of this, I think I heard was it's going to go from Section House down to Main Street, kind of a straight line along the railroad.
Follow the property line.
Is there another piece?
Right, around the corner to the retention pond.
So bring around the corner on Main Street down to the retention.
And there'll be an opening in that, a walkway,
Right.
but no gate, just an opening.
So it can be in. Okay, any other discussion? Let's keep our eye on the target here. It's gonna cost a little bit more because we're going to the retention pond than the 23. And that falls within your purview, so I don't see.
I don't want to be in my purview.
Okay, what do you want to do about the added expense to the, you want us to
Let me
use?
go get the exact quote, but I'll let you guys make the decision.
He just said it would run a little bit more.
Hey, Mike, as we go forward, do you see any problems? I mean, just, would you recommend making a small L
Frank, I can't.
and hold off and go to retention, or do you see any problems later on getting equipment in there?
Shouldn't have to get any equipment in that direction.
You
No,
ain't
you got two sides open here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only got, you're only covering.
So
two
what
sides.
was your question, Frank?
Just asking why you need that piece along Main Street.
Why? I just think it looked good. Instead of having everybody, because he's talking about leaving from the building there to that side of the retention pond open, has an interest, you know, for a vehicle or whatever. But the sidewalk's not made for that either way, anyway, so it just looked good.
You can't get it from that
The
main.
reasoning behind me getting the second quote was because if we do have basketball courts in the future, if we do have pickleball courts in the future, if we do have kids kicking soccer balls in that area in the future, I do not want some child running into the street and getting ran over.
That's a good idea.
That's fine.
Good point as well.
You may have take it. You got any, before we go to call the question, you have an addition to it?
No more than $40,000, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And make it, everybody all right with that? Good with that? Okay, Jim Lloyd call for the question. All those in favor of the fence being erected, as we discussed it, how do you want that, Monica?
Well, I put, a motion was made by Councilmember Lloyd and seconded by Councilmember Hess to accept the quote for 6-foot steel ornamental fencing in the amount of $23,950. Along the railroad in Heritage Park, along the railroad and Main Street. I didn't do that, I don't know what the motion was.
That's
That's
the whole
it.
thing, and you need to rearrange the price there
price.
too.
To be less than $40,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got you.
Okay? Everybody got that? You got this? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Have to vote fast because they lose track. All right, Jason, go ahead. Didn't mean to.
The last thing I had was Halloween, but Derek's already touched on that, so hopefully it'll be a little safer down here near Asbury Church this year because I'm sure that they'll use the parking that we currently have down there on that one lot.
The flat.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll cut down on some of the traffic through there and it'll be a safer situation. I will say in the future, you know, once we do develop Heritage Park, we could offer churches a place down there, central.
Somebody suggested that, I thought we
Central.
just weren't quite ready for that.
A
this year.
central place down there, especially, and I'm not trying to keep any churches out of it, but the Asbury Church is one in particular that it gets kind of hairy right there
It's
because
an narrow street.
Richmond Avenue's right there. You've got Dale.
Right.
And then, you know, that's a dangerous situation. But
There's a lot of
hopefully
room down there.
We can use that down there for that.
And that's what that's for.
Right.
Exactly. Question, did we ever reach out to Witt County about having a utility meeting?
No, I didn't, but I apologize.
All right, we could get that going. And the other thing is, did we ever get another revised, remember we had a discrepancy on hurt and profit?
We're getting a revised, I hope to have it in the next week to get you guys a number out. I'll get it to you by email. The price per square foot, there was some discrepancy when we explained what we wanted to use that building for and what Hurt and Profit had thought our intentions were. So,
Sure.
we're actually going to get with Hurt and Profit and then a second individual, a general contractor, to let them take a look at it and see what they think per square foot. And have an understanding of what our goal is, to have another event venue instead of, honestly, the price Hurt and Profit gave us, I could build Monica's house with.
Dang, I didn't know anybody had that much.
Right there. Anyway, and then, once we get that
And notice
revised
the one that
number,
cackled the loudest.
once we get that revised number, I'd like to have a meeting.
Yeah, well, we need to have a.
We need to have a finance meeting.
Are you bored yet, Shug?
Did you miss us?
This would be,
Like a sore thumb.
this would be Shug, Sean, and
Bill?
Dale.
Finance.
Can we do Monday the 28th? I know you don't.
What time?
Whatever time you guys want. 5:30?
Yeah, I know, that'll be no problem.
By the way,
Sure.
we have a gap in committee assignments. We don't?
No, you appointed
No, we
him at the
appointed
last meeting.
Oh, he wasn't here. Okay. You were
Okay, finance, I heard.
I nominate Shug.
Aye.
Roll down easy.
Okay. I thought I was being smart, but I
What
was
was the-
as smart
what's
as I
the
thought
other
I
one?
was.
What's the other assignment then?
What was the other assignment that we assigned him?
Capital improvement.
Capital improvement.
Yes.
I'll collect the money.
Okay. Jason, got anything else you want to go?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have unless somebody has any questions.
Hey, Jason, just a reminder, look into signage, adding signage to the park,
Okay.
the one-way.
What he's talking about is we did have some people that were pulling out from Dr. Pepper Day, and they were going, so we're gonna have to have some signage on that side saying,
Yeah.
wrong way, or.
One of the guys was on a big old trailer, he just took right off.
We've got one, well,
But it's farther.
it's two further.
It's too
Oh,
far down.
We need to bring some, we
We'll
need
put
to bring
something a little
some.
closer.
I understand, I
wouldn't it?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
We could put spike strips up, but
I was thinking roundabout myself.
I'll never go down there. I'll never go down there again. Monica, while we get this
Okay.
done.
We wrote the following checks. Atmos Energy, $118.06. VMS Direct, $500. Bright Speed, $73.13. Electronic Systems, $34.69. Harpo's Hardware, $88.85. Curtain Profit, $8,975. KC Automotive, $816.78. Lincoln Financial Group, $234.97. Penn Stewart, $720. Robertson Farmer Cox, $22,200. Southwestern Equipment, $70.29. State Electric Supply, $141.18. USA Blue Book, $285.25. And Wythe County, $16,841.74. That's a grand total of $51,099.94. Anybody have questions?
It's markedly different from last week.
Did you get the people? Okay, I didn't know you had that.
Did you? Hey, what happened?
Yeah.
No.
Mayor, let's while they're signing, and I'd just like to thank Reverend Payne here for helping me with the video and getting the equipment set up and staying with us tonight to make sure everything runs properly until I get used to doing that, so.
I didn't see him doing much, so he must have done
Well,
a good job
we
the
did it all
first
this
time.
morning, so he's just here for more
He fished
support.
right in.
But thank you.
Thank you.
The trouble with this bunch, nobody gets left out. Nobody. What about that?
Right on target.
All right, got one more signature to go, and I had to switch, Jim. Reverend Jones is gonna ask for adjournment, as quick as you find. He's back.
Here I are.
Matter of difference. All right, thank you all for your time.